I think one that sticks out to me the most personally is immigration.
Living in low-income neighborhoods really affects your future.
The way that there's just so much violence that just happens.
What's going on in Iran right now with women fighting for the freedom to wear what they like.
Racism, discrimination, sexism, all of it, it's like the government doesn't have to be involved. It's been like that for centuries. It's always been there.
I was born and raised in Section 8. I still think that it's systematic, the way that blacks and browns are placed almost in what I like to call the belly of the beast, where we are given all the tools to destroy ourselves with much easier access.
I am part Native American. The weird thing is that on the reservation, the main benefits that I would get are no tax on alcohol, no tax on tobacco, and no tax on gasoline, and a few other things, none of which are good for you. There are no good things that you get for being Native American other than once you live to be a certain age, you start getting pension. Other than that, it's just you pay less money on things that kill you.
In my neighborhood, I feel like the police force is majority white, and the fact that if I was to ever get pulled over, like the fear I would have, and I think it's because just of things that I've seen in the past, like when we talk about Black Lives Matter and all these other people who have literally been killed for almost doing nothing, like it makes me wonder, like, how does someone who's not my race and who's not a minority feel when they're in that situation? Yeah. When I'm around police, there's always just this like weird anxiety that I get, and it's like it's never good.
Moving to another country to live a better life and you're still struggling. I get it that, oh, you know, struggle pays reward, but why are there so many restrictions? Why is it that only a specific group of people are not allowed that access into other countries that would provide like better necessities for them to grow in society, you know?
Going to the airport, TSA.
That's injustice.
That is.
My dad's name is Muhammad, so his passport gets a red sticker on it. The rest of my family gets a green sticker. Like stuff like that.
What do you mean?
Like so that they can like
Really?
highlight that,
identify.
Who knows what this guy's gonna do.
And from there, do they do like a further check on?
I think they just like I see the way that like the TSA officers are just like looking at us like extra cautious. There's this one incident with a relative's family where there's 4 of them. 3 of them have very traditional Pakistani features, you know. The wife wears a scarf. They all have dark hair, dark features, but their daughter is very white. She's a redhead. She looks nothing like them. So the security officer was very like serious and he did not look very friendly. But the little one, she went and started talking to him. She's very social too. So when he saw her, he was like, oh, okay, it's okay. You guys can go. A little 4 or 5-year-old girl, because she had very like white features.
Have the passport, you have the
See my
information
last
here, you
I got
like
the kid's
everything's
social,
there.
dude.
I got the accent. I grew up here. I'm American.
Before I was saved, I would say that I wanted to take justice into my own hands. But something that I realized with reading the Bible and getting more into Romans chapter 12, verses like 21 through the rest of the book, and it was talking about vengeance and how vengeance is the Lord's and not our own. So even to this day, I sometimes still think about this when thinking about people who hurt me, because I want to put the hurt on them, you know? That's like human instinct. But then I have to stop myself and think, in order for me to be a perfect judge, I would have to be a perfect human. So how would I be able to carry out justice in a perfect way? I wouldn't be. And if I believe in God, then I believe that He's got me. He will serve justice for me, and I don't have to worry about it.
I mean, like, we're all such like emotional beings, and that we are not able, we're imperfect. So the whole idea of like serving justice, I will do what I can. Yes, you can, but there's a limit to it. And I'm Muslim, and to me, like, my idea of what God, like, his role in justice is very strong, very true, because he will serve it for you if you can. Not if you can, when you can. And it's there. It will come back. It'll take a long time, but it'll come there.
Mm-hmm. Similar to what you were saying, I feel like, say someone came up to me and hit me. Of course I would want to hit you back. Like, why did you hit me? And just that anger, and it's so heavy to have anger in your heart. And I've had to like trust God and knowing like you can't hold all this. So
for me, I am agnostic. I lean towards atheist. I don't really believe in a God. I don't have faith that there is one. So I can't really have the idea of, oh, they'll get what's coming to them when they die or whatever, because I don't think that that's there. But I also, I guess, I'm much more of a reserved person because I've never really had the wish or even really the thought to harm anyone who's harmed me, just because like people don't do things purely because they know that it's bad. They do things because they think that it's a good idea. They might be misinformed on what's a good thing, but they're doing it because they think that it's good. I have a different view than them. You guys all have different morality views than me, I'm sure. Yeah. Like, God still does have an influence on what people see as just and what people view as justice. Like, the people who do believe, they're afraid of what may happen if they act out or if they do something bad. And it also helps them come to terms with the fact that they don't have to act out justice. It helps them process justice in a way that is healthier than trying to go about it all on your own. I have processed it differently in a way where I don't have to take it all on my own either. I just don't view it as a God that will have to do it. I view it as the person themselves who has to reconcile their actions.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that no matter how damaged somebody is, that there's always still that like change, or that hope for change. Yeah. I'm a perfect example of that. Like before, I used to be full of hate, and now I'm still full of hate, but a little bit more love, or at least inclination to wanting to be more full of love.
A tendency towards love rather than hate. Even
I'm more aware of my evilness than I was so unaware before.
Yeah.
That now I'm like, oh, wait a second, that wasn't a good thought. Or wait, I'm being selfish right now. To whereas before it was like me, and forget everybody else.
I wish the world was just more patient. Coming off of what I said before, I just wish they were more patient with changes. I personally am not a person of change. I get very scared, but you're human. Changes are bound to happen. And so
the only constant is change.
Yeah, and so I wish like the world was more patient with changes and more kind, And
more accepting of changes.
Yeah.
I think it's not so much that the world has a presence of hate, it's that it has a lack of love. And just with a little bit more love, I think a lot of the problems that we have as humans would not like dissolve by any means, but at least it would show some type of progress.
The sad part though is that anger and fear and hate are such strong motivators towards action. Love isn't a very strong motivator for action, but it will help you in your everyday other tasks because you have something inside of you. Hate is something that you project outwards a lot more, so it's just a lot easier to see all of the hate and know about the hate than it is to know about the love.
I think it's just important that we should all, not just us in the room, but like everybody should just realize that not everyone grows up the same way. Not everybody fits into this cookie cutter life, and that we should just be open to accepting that.